What experts at the Harvard School of Public Health estimate is that if 23 million Americans were to be thrown off the insurance they currently have, which is what the House bill would do, up to 28,000 Americans every single year could die. That is 9 times more than the tragic losses we suffered on 9/11 every single year.
Well, anti-GOP rhetoric went full tilt and then completely unhinged over the weekend, with Bernie Sanders saying the GOP health reform bill may be 9 times worse than the losses we suffered on 9/11. Taking a quick check of healthcare stocks, as the Senate now says they will possibly push off that Senate recess to get to work on Obamacare reform. Looks like we got mixed action in the insurers. Humana, Aetna, Anthem ending the day in the green. Joining me now, former D.C. homicide detective Rod Wheeler. What do you think of Bernie Sanders using 9/11 as a comparison?
You know, Liz, I just simply don't understand it. For Bernie Sanders or any politician, Liz, to try to utilize the most horrific day in our nation's history that's still fresh, by the way, with some of us. 9/11 wasn't that long ago, as we know. It was only 14 or 15 years ago. And to try to use that horrific day for political gain is appalling. It's disgusting. And I'm really saddened that what's really tragic is the fact that he even attempted to do that and to say that. So it's really disheartening to hear one of our senators make that kind of a statement.
Yeah, Rod, he's saying, and it's debatable whether 28,000 people are going to die because of the GOP reforms. And
right.
To equate that to 9/11, I wonder what the victims' families in New York, Pennsylvania, and D.C. would say to that.
Oh, these people are offended by this statement, Liz. Let me tell you, I get the fact that there needs to be a lot of work done with Obamacare. We need to repeal it. We need to replace it. And let me tell you, our senators and Congress people here on the Hill, they're working hard to make that happen. But to try to appease to people's emotions, I mean, to actually take 9/11, a day that we all remember, we'll never forget, and to try to use that for political gain is horribly
right.
The wrong thing to do.
And, you know, Rod, Bernie Sanders clearly wants single payer, but the Inspector General for the VA system, the Veterans Affairs system, administration rather, the VA is an example of single payer. He
right.
found hundreds of thousands of records for veterans waiting for care, and those veterans had passed away. So the IG is saying maybe they could have died waiting for single payer care. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, it's ridiculous. That analogy just simply doesn't add up. Whether or not he wants single payer care or any other type of care, the bottom line is our senators, we elect them to figure this thing out, to make it work. Repealing and replacing Obamacare obviously needs to happen, and that's on both sides of the aisle. We need to make that happen, Liz, but we can't make that happen by using the rhetoric that Bernie Sanders used yesterday in that speech.
All right, getting back to more unhinged rhetoric, in a post published on his Instagram account Friday, comedian George Lopez suggested deport the police instead. Here's what he said. The Trump administration deporting Latinos to make the streets safer. You want to make the streets safer? Deport the police. Okay, Rod, even many of Lopez's Hispanic fans, Lopez's Hispanic cop fans as well, said this is outrageous. Also, criminal illegal aliens are being deported. And when you break down what Lopez implied, he implied in that posting that every Hispanic immigrant is part of the criminal element. We know Hispanics are hardworking and religious. What's with George Lopez?
Well, you know, what we need to deport are some of these boring comedians, these individuals that think that they're being funny when it's not funny at all. First of all, Liz, let me say this. President Trump does not want to deport Latinos. He wants to deport people that's in this country illegally. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, and that's what he wants to do. But people like George Lopez, who, by the way, I've really never heard of prior to this story, so he's not that big of a deal. You know, when he makes statements like that, it doesn't do anything to help the Hispanic community, the Latino community, or any community, and we need to work on deporting people like him, if you want my opinion, more than anything else.
Yeah, we're still, well, he's not illegal, but we're still tracking the Hispanic reaction to George Lopez. They're really angry with his fans. His fans are angry. Hispanic fans are angry with George Lopez. You know, we have thousands gathering for the funeral of the New York police officer Mia Soto's Familia, who was assassinated, shot in the head last week while sitting in a mobile command unit truck in the Bronx. Rod, we had the mayor. I just wanted your reaction. The mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, he went to that G20 protest march in which hundreds of cops were injured. What do you think of the mayor doing that?
Well, again, here we go again with one of these Democratic mayors that's turning his back on police officers that put their lives on the line each and every day. Can I be honest? It just really wasn't a surprise. De Blasio has turned his back on police officers ever since day one. We realize that, we recognize that, but I will say this, Liz, we still, meaning law enforcement, we go out there each and every day, we protect De Blasio, we protect George Lopez and everybody else that wants to turn their backs on cops.